to the Elite Life Podcast with your hosts, Trisha and Kylie. Here, we guide you on a journey of personal and professional transformation, revealing the secrets to success. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, join us as we unlock the doors to the elite world of growth, grit, and grace. So, let's dive in.
Welcome, friends, to another episode of the Elite Life Podcast. I am Trish.
And I was expecting you to be like, I am Kylie.
And I am Kylie.
I'm Kylie. I am. And today we're diving into a super hot topic for real estate agents right now, which is lead generation and the tactics for growing your business in 2024. So we've compiled a list of 13 things that are going to be sure to help you expand and grow your business to find success in today's market, because things are getting a little wild.
Things are always wild in real estate.
There's always something.
I've been doing this for 21 years now because I'm old as dirt. And there has never been a point in time when it wasn't wild.
There's always something. Absolutely. And so let's jump right in. Tell our listeners about the very first idea that we had here.
So the first one is prospecting expired listings. So for those of you who don't know, an expired listing is a seller who says, I want to sell my house. The house goes on the market. The other agent, or maybe another reason, the house goes expired. It doesn't sell. And so once it hits that expired status, we realtors can go, hey, I will not take your photos with my cell phone. Instead, I will engage a professional photographer and sell your house for real.
There it is. There it is, my friends. Not that, just know that not all agents are created equal, okay? No. We're elite for a reason. Mm-hmm. All right, shameless plug. And another great tactic is to create Facebook ads. You can generate to generate quality leads, right? You can do this on your own. You can also hire someone on Fiverr.com to do it. You can engage, someone local who does this for a living. Because let me tell you guys something. If you have not ever tried to explore the back end of like Facebook ads, it is like a messy web. It's like a bramble bush. It's
meta world.
Yeah, it's wild. So I jumped into that a little bit with our friend Andrew before, and I was like, you know what, Andrew? I'm just going to put this in your basket, friend. This is not something I need to pick up right now. But as we all know, YouTube is a great place to learn new tricks, even if you are an old dog. So do that. And you can create graphics on Canva. You can do it yourself. Or you can hire someone. Yeah. So look into it.
Fiverr, AI, or YouTube can all teach you how to conquer those Facebook ads.
Absolutely.
Next up would be nurturing your sphere of influence. And I feel like this is such an easy one, but one that is so often overlooked. The people that already know, like, and trust you can be the best source of business for you. So I always make sure, like Aunt Cindy has a stack of my cards, Grandma has a stack of my cards, Dad has a stack of my cards, Uncle Tony took my flyers to his job. Like, these people already know, like, and trust you. They're already going to be singing your praises. Make sure they have materials to be able to share your info. I will get calls at the office all the time, and they're like, yeah, I met your dad's Sal in Office
always
Depot.
Uncle Sal, always. He's one of your biggest fans.
Yeah, I went to go show him a house yesterday, and he was already like sitting there talking to a neighbor that was outside. And by the time I left, I gave the neighbor my card and then an extra card to give to another neighbor who wanted to sell. And so it was like, I went to show one house, and I think I got 2 listings from it.
That's amazing. That's amazing. When I went to the Waterford Chamber meeting, it was at Life Point, where your dad goes, and that was my lead in, because most of the people who were there were entrepreneurs, but they also go there. And yeah, I was like, yeah, I'm Sal's, niece, and Sal. So yeah, lean into your people, lean into your power base, the ones that already know, like, and trust you, and not just with handing out cards or flyers, like physical materials. Make sure that you're tagging your people when you put a post up, whether it's just closed or I'm looking for this, or you're running, a raffle or a giveaway or something like that, or you're throwing an event. Make sure that your people are plugged into what you're doing. And don't be afraid to ask. do never be afraid to ask.
When you were saying that, I was thinking of how many people like my dad and Aunt Cindy and them brought to Fall Fest.
Absolutely.
So they were out at their churches and their places inviting people to our Fall Fest. And I know my dad was like making deals. Like, if you come to my daughter's Fall Fest, she'll come to your trunk or treat and stuff. So yeah, definitely a great easy space.
Another way that you can connect with new business is circle prospecting neighborhoods. And this is what you do when you target specific areas and you're reaching out to homeowners. You can uncover new leads, expand your network. And this is one thing that I'm constantly, sharing with the new recruits that we're bringing in and we're training up, is you never know who someone knows, right? So even if, let's say I'm talking to someone and perhaps they are not ready to sell or not ready to buy, I'm always asking, who do you know that could use my help? Because that's really what it is. We're helping people. And when you use those phrases like that, whether you're in real estate like us or you have another business, that's really what we're doing. We're selling a solution.
Yeah, absolutely. And that brings us to the next one, which is, building a community. So engaging with local groups and organizations. I just joined a group called Social Oak that my chiropractor is a part of. So like I followed her on Instagram, and then she had shared something from like her social group from the area. And I was like, oh, let me get in on this. Yeah. So, and like you mentioned, the Chamber of Commerce is a great one to get connected at. And when you engage with those other businesses, just like I was saying earlier, it creates that win-win, right? Like I'm going to help you and send my clients to you for chiropractic work. You send your clients to me for real estate. I'll send my clients to you for doing hair. You send your clients to me for your real estate. And you're just business exchanging. Kind of like when I used to work at Jets Pizza, and we do food exchange with other like places that had food. It's like the same thing. Yeah. So like if we wanted, say, Arby's for lunch because you're sick of eating Jets Pizza because that's where you work, you call Arby's and be like, I'll bring you a Jets Pizza, you bring us some Arby's.
Wait a minute. Who in their right mind gets sick of eating Jets Pizza?
When you work there for like 5 years, you will.
Fair enough. Okay. The other thing I wanted to bring up was calling vacant rental properties. That's a great tactic. Number one, you are connecting with someone who is most likely an investor. So that, again, opens the door, even if maybe you're asking to help them lease this property. Perhaps they're expanding or maybe they're liquidating. They probably have more than one door. Very seldom do you run into what I call the accidental, haphazard landlord where, grandma or aunt died and we're just not sure what to do with the house. So we might as well make some money off of it. Let's rent it out. So calling the vacant rental properties, you can connect with agents or connect with owners, help them lease out the property, which will bring you buyer and renter leads, which is what we're doing right now. I know Tracy in our office, she had a great open house for a rental. She hosted an open house for a rental, and she got a lot of leads from it because it was a hot house. And Beth was sharing with me that she's talking to these people like, hey, I saw your application. I saw your credit score. I saw your solid income. Let's have a conversation about buying. Mm-hmm. So that's another great way to open up several different avenues of different kinds of leads: listing leads, rental leads, buyer leads. Go do it.
Yeah, for sure. When I was actually reading this outline before we started, I thought of the house that I showed my dad yesterday because it was a dumpster fire. And I'm like, this guy just needs to sell this. Like, he's not going to rent it out. He needs to sell it. So obviously, like, if you show a property and it needs a ton of work, that guy is probably sick of renting that house out, right? Like, when my dad was talking to the neighbors, he said, like, oh, they had this set of renters through, this set of renters through. They were always fighting because I was like, it looks like somebody kicked the door down. And he's like,
sure, because why not?
Yeah, they were always fighting. They broke the doors. So that guy's probably about sick and tired of dealing with renters because he's not even like cleaning up the house to rent it out. So now it's been sitting vacant over 100 days. And I was like, I'm totally reaching out to sell that place.
Or again, it might be an opportunity to refer them to a property management company that you know and partner with. So all good things there. The next thing that we were going to talk about is following up on your leads. And I feel like you are way better at this than I am.
Well, yeah, I was actually talking about this yesterday at the 411 because like I never stop following up with people. So like I literally we utilize the BatDoc, the business activity tracker, and on there I have
game changer,
definite game changer. On there I have that the things that I don't necessarily love doing, like okay, I have to follow up with this many past clients, this many future clients, this many cold clients. So like here I am last week, and I'm sending out text messages to people that like I've been on and off showing houses to since like 2020, 2021. Oh
my gosh.
And I'm just like, hey, Karen, like, hope you're enjoying spring. It has finally sprung. Are you going to start looking at houses again? Like, knowing full well she's probably not going to respond. So, like, that was my day for sending all of these messages that I know nobody's going to respond to. But lo and behold, I woke up yesterday morning.
And Karen wants to buy the house.
And a house went up. So, like, these are usually people that already own homes, but they're like, if this house on this lake comes up, or like this scenario was they want to live on the same street as their daughter and son-in-law so that they can be on the same block as their grandkids. So like they love the house they're in, but if a house comes up on that block, then they want it, which also it's a tiny block. There's like 15 houses maybe on there, right?
Of course, because why not?
Yeah.
But if anybody can get it done,
it's me.
It's you.
So they texted me yesterday, and I am FaceTiming walking them through a house that came up for sale. But it was like, again, they have not responded to anything in at least 9 months. So you have to keep following up because it's really all about that timing. And if you're continuing to follow up, like if I wouldn't have sent that email last week, maybe when that house went up on the market, they just would have called the sign.
Yeah.
You know? But I'm staying top of mind. I'm letting them know, like, I'm still here to help. I'm still here to help. Because if you don't do that, what could happen is all of a sudden Karen goes, well, I ghosted Trisha for the last 2 years, so she's probably not going to want to work with me. So I'll just call whoever's on the sign or whoever is in my mailbox on a postcard. You have to continue to follow up no matter what and not take it personally if they don't respond. A lot of times when they do respond, they're like, well, I just didn't want to waste your time. I haven't seen anything that I want. It's only if it comes up on this lake or on this block or, yada, yada, yada. So when you keep following up, you keep letting them know, like, it's cool that you haven't responded.
I'm here.
I'm still here.
I'm here when you're ready. Yeah. Absolutely. I had the same situation yesterday. I connected with this guy. He came to update our AT&T internet, and instead of talking about the new internet plan, we jumped into a conversation about real estate because he's an investor. He has properties, and he's planning on purchasing, and this was way back in like February or January, and we've just kept in touch. And I called him yesterday because I haven't heard from him. I was like, hey, Jeff, and, just checking, and he's like, I'm so glad you called because I just paid off my car, which was the goal he was trying to meet prior to making this purchase. He's going to surprise his parents with a condo. Aww. So, but we are looking in like specific areas, 3 specific areas. So I did tell him, we might need to be patient, but let's jump in. And because I was able to stay in front of him, I was able to keep him from going somewhere else.
Yes.
I'm like, you belong to me. And that's another example of whatever you're doing, whether you're in real estate or whether you have a completely different business, you need to figure out ways to work this into every conversation, every single conversation. At the gas station, I'll be paying gas, and I'll be like, ooh, busy day, how's your day been? Because you want to be friendly, and then they're like, oh, yeah, blah, 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 what are you up to, or whatever. Or even if they don't ask, they'll be like, yeah, my day's good. I'm like, ooh, me too, I'm busy, I've got showings and this and that, I'm a real estate agent, so I never sleep, and blah, blah, blah. And I cannot tell you how many times I've been able to drop cards, and not all of those come to fruition, but they're seeds. Like when I went to go pick up the dishwasher that I bought, Ryan sent me over to this appliance/taxidermia shop in Waterford, because why not? And as I'm in there, I found a way to work it in, and he was like, oh, one of our workers, she's got a duplex in Pontiac she wants to sell. So I'm following up on that. So make sure that you are connecting with people wherever you're at. You're working it in. I always leave a great tip when we go out to eat. Leave my card. I'd love to work with you, or I'd be honored anybody sent my way. That kind of stuff.
Nice. I love that. So next up, we're looking at
soon to be hot short sales and pre-foreclosure. So I'm going to let you take the lead on this one because I feel like you have a lot of experience on this.
Yeah. So,
Are we even seeing a lot of short sales right now?
I would say short sales, not really, because we've had such a good increase in value. I am seeing pre-foreclosures again, though, and foreclosures. I just had 2 bank sales and already this year. So we are seeing people getting foreclosed on here and there. Not a lot. I have one that's in pre-foreclosure status that I'm babysitting in Milford right now.
Ooh, keep me posted on that.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's got a lot of land. But we had such a dramatic increase in value over the last few years. They're very few and far between if they are a foreclosure. What I have found is the 2 that I did have, one had been a rental, and the other one, the gentleman, I had found out, I guess, had some mental health problems, we'll say. So it's not very often that you get them. But if you work with a good title company, they can get you what are called NODs. So NODs are notice of default. And what happens is if somebody goes more than 3 mortgage payments down, the bank can initiate foreclosure proceedings. And the first thing they do is file an issue of NOD, notice of default, which is what puts it in that pre-foreclosure status. So anybody who has a good relationship with the title company can usually get those lists of NODs and start to door knock, mail, or even maybe use some skip tracing and get phone numbers and call. And you have to be delicate with those conversations, though, right? Because these people are in a financial situation.
Which is sensitive.
So usually it's more like coming and saying, hey, I'm in real estate, like introducing yourself, maybe giving them a free value check and just letting them know that you're here and you're in the area without saying, hey, I know you haven't paid your bills, right? So
that should be another episode. Stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
For sure.
Let's talk about that some more. We kind of touched a little bit on this. We talked about Facebook ads, but diving a little bit deeper into social media, make sure you're not neglecting to build your brand and get your business out there. We have an entire module on Stars Academy about branding, putting together a social media calendar, because I know how I feel. It's very daunting when you're like, I have to push out 3 posts a day for 30 days. And how do I create all of that? Where do I come up with the ideas? We have an entire module that makes it so simple. So if you're interested in that, you can email info@mystarsacademy.com, or you can go to mystarsacademy.com and check out the store page. It's in there. It's affordable. It is worth it. And we can also give you some coaching on maybe how to spruce things up a little bit, like a free social media page valuation kind of situation. But it's really important to make sure that you are continuing to consistently push branded information, right? So anytime I get a house under contract, or even I submit an offer, or I'm doing showings, not lately because we've been busy renovating a house and something's got to give. But honestly, I try to practice what I preach, and I make sure that when I make these posts, I'll make them in Canva. I have templates. It's like bing, bang, boom. But my card, my face, Ryan's face, our names, our phone numbers are on the bottom, all of that. So even if my mom shares it, or Aunt Cindy shares it, or someone else shares it, we're not getting lost, So make sure that you're doing those things. If you need help, let us know.
Yeah, for sure. And that brings me to the next one, which kind of goes hand in hand with expireds, because usually it's the same software that has expireds, has FSBOs, as we like to call them, for sale by owners. We have some systems, Redux, Vortex, what's the other one? Vulcan. There we go. Vulcan. These services you can buy online. There's more too if you just Google for sale by owner expired services.
There's also like VAs that there's companies out there who you can pay a very reasonable fee and they will call and set the appointments for you.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, I bet a lot of people would like that. So working on those for sale by owners where you can offer your expertise and your services, you can secure more appointments and potentially be listing a lot more homes that way. I know one way that we have locked this in, and I don't know if we did a podcast on for sale by owners. Maybe that's another future episode. But we I like to coach people on doing a one-day open house with a for sale by owner. So, hey, Kylie, I know that you're listing your house for sale by owner. I respect that. I love that for you. Would you be willing to let me do a one-day open house? Because then I get to come in, I get to show you what I got, right? And I'm probably going to sell the house at that open house. And then I'm able to procure a commission. So when I do that one-day listing agreement.
That was my next question. Is do you just make the listing agreement for like 48 hours?
Yeah, usually I tell them at least 3 days because I want to get it into the MLS, and that way they get that MLS presence, and then it'll also go onto more websites online, and then I can do my open house. So I want to be able to market for that open house for at least 2 days. So I would say like a 3 to 5 day listing contract. But I tell them in there, like, if you sell it during that time, like, you don't have to pay me anything. But this is my opportunity to come alongside you and help you market for you, get it in more places, get that open house, and get it done, right? We have a great software coaching program that is from Hoss Pratt that talks about how to do a mega open house, a one-day open house, and we learned it from there, and it's really, really good.
Nice,
so, yeah.
Nice. Next, we are going to talk about, I skipped ahead a little bit. Anyways.
Well, using the dialer goes along with
we kind of already
for
talked
sale
about
by owners and expired. So when you use one of those systems like Vulcan or RedX or Vortex or any of those, they usually have a dialer in there. And what a dialer is it helps you to make calls more quickly because the system will be dialing for you. And then while you're on the line, and then when you hang up, it automatically usually has somebody else on the line for you. So as opposed to like sitting and dialing, it's going to run through all the numbers. So the ones that are disconnected and all of that, it's like skipping through for you faster.
Right. And the other thing I'm thinking of is like a lot of people think that these systems are just for real estate agents. And yes, they are, but no, they're not. Some of them have features where you can pull information for like a neighborhood. So for example, if Jacob was doing a roof in a specific neighborhood, he could pull up all the neighbors' phone numbers, and save himself some time and try and call them and say, hey, we're going to be in the area on Wednesday. Would you like me to send one of my guys over to kind of give you a quote on the roof or whatever? Because I know a lot of times when they are planning to be in the area, they'll door knock and canvas and stuff too. So it's just one more tool you can add to your arsenal to make sure that you are getting in front of people, that you're being memorable, and that you stay in front of people as well.
Yeah, and you actually mentioned the next one in that conversation, which is door knocking. Yeah,
This is a really intimidating one, but isn't that how Sophie got like her last couple of listings?
Yep, she did.
She's
knocking.
A beast, man. I'm so glad she's on our team. I love it. Shout out, Sophie. So we kind of talked about this one as well. We're just kind of blanketing over everything, following up by text. And the one thing we haven't talked about yet is the power of the video text, right? We kind of covered this in our 411 yesterday. Gosh, all the days kind of blend together when life is just going wild. But when you are call, texting, emailing someone, one great way to stand out, especially if you are doing it from Zillow or you're using a dialer, a great way to stand out is to kind of capture a semi-generic video text, right? What do you say in yours?
Usually something along the lines of like, hey friend, this is Trish. I just want to put a face with a name. I'm super excited to help you with your search. I seen you were looking for houses in Westland. I'm going to be over there on Tuesday and Thursday. So if you are open either Tuesday or Thursday, I'd love to get you into a couple homes. If neither of those days work for you, just shoot me a text back when you get a second and let me know what day does, and we'll set you up some showings so we can get you into that new home.
Yay! Super quick, super easy. I like how you didn't throw a specific name in there so that you're re-recording it. And then you just save that to your phone. And when you're calling and double dialing and emailing, it's always nice to send that, if they don't respond. Greg told me yesterday when I was in the office, he was like, there is a point where I literally just text and say, if you don't respond, I'll find you. And then he sends the GIF, the Liam Neeson GIF.
Yes.
He's like, people respond to that. And
They
I'm
do.
like, do they respond because they're worried they need to make a police report, or are they giggling with you?
Well, I mean, getting attention, right? I know, like, our video on marketing where we dressed up as sharks, Dave broke that into shorts, and I am getting tons of views. And, like, people are, like, texting me, like, how about I'm scrolling through Instagram, and then there's you in a shark costume? And I was like, well, it's working then, isn't it?
So it sounds like next session we should bring some more costumes.
Yeah, I mean, people love them.
Why don't you guys drop us a comment? Let us know what costume you want to see. Keep it clean, people. This is a family show for the most part.
We've already been sharks, so you got to pick something outside of that wheelhouse.
All right, cool. And finally, I think that is the final. I don't know if there were 13 or 15 or 4. But we went over some really, really good tips today.
Go back through, listen, make sure you have a pen handy so you can write these down, and at least take
just one. Implement
two.
one thing.
If you implemented one of these things each month, you would have over a year worth of new prospecting techniques, and that will probably quadruple your income, if not more.
I love it. All right. Thanks so much for joining us today. Make sure you come back. Next week, we drop fresh content every Thursday. Don't forget to subscribe and slap that like button and share it with your friends.
Share it with the friends. Bye.
Thank you for joining us today on the Elite Life Podcast with Trish and Kylie. Don't forget to share this episode with a friend so we can keep delivering you more fantastic insights on grit, grace, and growth. Stay connected with us on Instagram and Facebook, where we'll keep the ideas flowing to help you build a life you love and leave a legacy you can be proud of. Until next time.